Right, mic check. 1, 2, hey. Okay, let's go. And we're back to it. Another video. In this video, what we're gonna do, I'm just about to plug the VCDS into the car. I need to pull off the coding for the ABS pump that's already on the car. Then we're gonna fit the new ABS pump. And obviously once everything is done, we'll code the new ABS pump in with the old coding, if that makes sense. We're gonna code the ABS pump back in. We still are yet to cut out the hole for this bit, so we're gonna need to do that. In other news, I have removed the locking wheel nuts. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on. I'm gonna get the drive shafts off. I'm gonna get the ABS coding done, and I'm gonna swap over the ABS pump now, and we'll see what else we can get done. So it's running through. I'm gonna save this scan. Look at that, 173,000 miles on this. Gonna crack on now, get the drive shafts changed out, ABS pump off, and the ABS pump changed out. Let me show you guys this. So my wings are really, really bad, like horrendous bad. They weren't this bad when I got the car, but it has got worse over time. That is the sponge. So the sponge sits inside the wing, and that actually fills up with water, and that is what rusts your wing. So if you've got time, pull the sponges out. You might get a lot of water overspray and stuff come out the gaps and the cracks, but it's better than doing this. This is horrendous. Look, I was supposed to change these ages ago. Look, someone's even gone to the point of putting filler in them because they got that bad. But yeah, look at that lovely wing. So we'll have to change that one now. Wheels are coming off, drive shafts are coming out. Ugh. Oh, look at these rusty brakes, rusty discs. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. So if you ever have an issue where your disc doesn't bolt into your hub, like there's a little locator bolt, you can just wind a wheel bolt in and that will stop it spinning. Lovely that is. Oh, it's one drive shaft. So I'm going to show you guys the difference now. This is the difference between four-wheel drive, driver side drive shaft, and front-wheel drive, driver side drive shaft. So the passenger side, I believe, is still the same size, if I'm honest. There's not been any change between the distance from the hub to the gearbox on the passenger side, but the driver's side will be shorter. So I've got to put that back in. And the reason for putting that back in is if we don't, and we're rolling the car back and forth, the wheel bearing will collapse. Yeah, the wheel bearing will collapse. So, throw that in, bolt her up. That's that done. I'm not gonna bother changing the passenger side drive shaft. Like I said, there's not been any difference between the hub and the gearbox in length on the passenger side. But on the driver's side, remember, we've now added a transfer box because it's gone four-wheel drive, hence the shorter drive shaft. So I'm going to leave that as it is. If you guys ever need to take off an ABS pump, obviously you've got your two 10mm on your battery. You've got a 13mm that clamps the battery down. So we undo them, you undo that, battery comes out. And then from there we've got another three 10mm that hold the battery tray in. Two. Oh, I only had two for some reason. So we were missing one. This is the ABS pump. Now these are all 11mm spanner. So we've got one sliding clip back there, the plug, and then the rest of them are an 11mm spanner. So we'll get that off now. Oh, and we've got a new ABS pump to go on. You're going to lose a lot of fluid here. So we've got 6 of these 11mm fittings, or 6 in total. for all the brake lines. It's fairly straightforward. You can't really get them mixed up as to where they are or where they go. We're going to lose a hell of a lot of brake fluid now. Probably end up emptying the bottle completely, which means, I mean, we had to bleed the clutch anyway because all has been disconnected. Oh, come on. Right. I'll tell you what, it's very slippery. Right, so you've got to be very careful when you're putting these fittings back in the ABS pump because it's fairly easy to cross thread them, and that is the last thing you want. But ideally what you want to do is pull the fitting away from the brake line, pull it as far down as possible, and then try and get the fitting to catch. That one is in. You want to do the same with every brake line. Ideally pull the pipe away from the ABS pump and try and get the fitting to seat or to catch the thread before just spinning away at it, because like I said in the past, I have threaded these, cross-threaded them. It's easily done, and it can give you a bit of a nightmare. Right, mic check, 1, 2, hey. Okay, let's go. Let's go with a little bit of light, a little bit of light, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, goddamn. This will go over the subframe, over the fuel tank. Oh, fuel tank's got to come down, guys. Yeah, this is a little bit irritating, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, it will still work. It's a little bit bent out of shape, a little bit, but it will go into, oh no, it's not that bent out of shape. That will go into there. Have I even got the right? No, I'm sure I have got the right one. I'm sure I have got the right one. So yeah, guess what, guys? I filled the fuel tank up with fuel, and the fuel tank's got to come down again. So that's a little bit irritating. Right, so these are the brackets that you need. This one's not open, so I'll open this one and show you guys. So that is where the prop shaft mount will bolt to, and then this needs to be welded up in place. So this one, I believe, goes somewhere here. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to slide this prop shaft up and over that support. So what we will do now is replicate where it would actually sit. So that's one of them up. And that's the second one up. So ideally you want it as central as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Sharpie and I'm going to draw around where these are going to go. So I've got the shapes roughly outlined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to belt sand. I'm going to belt sand a section here. I'm going to belt sand a section at the bottom, and then the same on the other side, so we know where we're at in terms of spot welds and stuff. So we're all good now. We have prop shaft mounted where it should be, the prop shaft bearing brackets. So I'm happy with that. Took a while, but we're there. So now we've got the heat shield, the first heat shield up in place. As you can see, there's been a CV boot. The boot on the prop shaft is split, so there's a lot of mess there. I'm gonna have to do that before I can put the rest of the prop shaft in. We still need to cut out the little piece under the rear seats for the access to the secondary pump or the transfer pump, whichever it is. We've got this hole cut now. The hole is the right size. However, I've got, I think, 3 broken clips on this bit of plastic, so it's not going to sit. It's not going to sit and stay clipped in, unfortunately, which is fairly annoying. I can just order a new one with a part number, and then the wires pull through, so that's not a big deal. We've got the hole cut. That's another thing done. Just going to plug them in and shut that down, and what I will do is forget about it for now. Right, so some of you guys will have just been watching the live stream. It's Friday today. Obviously, I hadn't managed to get enough filmed to put out a video for Friday, which is today. But you'll be watching this next Friday. I don't know. We'll see. Right, so where we are at now, I'm in a bit of a pickle. This is stuff that I should have accounted for, but I didn't. How I need to be looking at the Golf now is as if it is a Quattro or an S3 or something along the lines of that. So I was like, yeah, gonna get my dust covers swapped over, wheel bearings swapped over, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. The reason for that being, now that it's Quattro, it's slightly different the way that it's set up, which is a bit irritating. So, this is where we're at now. Big ball ache, a load of nuts and bolts didn't want to come loose. That's the rear drop link, so I need to replace the rear drop link. I need to replace a load of nuts and bolts. I need to do wheel bearing, drivers and passenger side rear, and dust covers for a Quattro, because the dust covers I've got are no good for a Quattro hub. So, I believe anyway. Okay, so I believe there are slight differences. Yeah. So there's no chance of using this. Even the bolt holes. Look at where the bolt holes are on the hub in comparison to that. So these are no good. These obviously, as you can see, are fairly new. So I'm going to put them to the side anyway. They will come in handy for someone. This wheel bearing, I've got one wheel bearing here. These wheel bearings were shot, which is why I'm changing them anyway. One of the bolts, I will show you guys, was completely dead in there. So didn't manage to get that out. I had to cut a slot through where the bolt would sit, which is there. But it doesn't really matter too much that I've made contact there, because we've still got the rest of the mating surface. What have I got left to do? This, even these, same again. This drop link bolt, as you can see, I've had to, come on, focus. This one I've had to cut into to get that out. We're just going to hammer into these multi-splines and hope that they don't So what you'll hear is when you're hammering something in, you'll hear a certain noise up until a certain point, and then the noise should change. And what that means is the tool that you were just hammering in has reached its base, and you're good to go. Yes, there we go. So yeah, we've got a rather crusty hub. I did try throwing the other one in the cleaner, but I didn't really do too much. I'm going to start cleaning up the hubs because they're in a pretty bad way. The media blaster didn't do too much because I haven't got the correct media in it, so we're not going to get these up. We're not going to get these cleaned up as good as I would like with the media blaster. So, old school, couple of wire brushes on a drill, wire brush attachments on a drill, and I'm just going to go at it and just clean them up as best as I can. It is going to get very dusty. Got some safety glasses too. So let's get cracking, boys and girls. So this is what we've got in terms of a difference. It's still not pretty, don't get me wrong. Bear in mind that, like I said before, these cars are like near on 20 years old. I think the year of the car that these bits came from were 07 maybe. Knuckles have probably never been changed. No reason for them to be changed unless they've been in an accident. So yeah, clean it up as best I can. Okay, let's go. So we saw the state of these hubs beforehand. I've given one a lick of etch primer and we've just gloss blacked it, and that's what we've got for now. It's not amazing, but it looks a damn sight better than it did before. Now I've just got to wait for these dust shields to arrive, wait for a few more bolts, and then I can build up the rear hubs, rear calipers, get them on, rear discs, get them on, and then this thing can finally go back down on the floor. For now though, looks like I'm going to get started on some wiring. You guys don't get to see a lot of the in-depth and the time consuming side of things with doing YouTube. Obviously, when it comes to editing the videos and stuff, you clip, you edit, you cut, you skip a lot of the stuff out. So I've been working on the wiring diagrams for the Golf for maybe best part of an hour, and I'm getting ill again as well, so I'm sat here in the cold. I did have the heater on, but in order for you guys to hear me, I've had to switch that off. So I'm now going through some of the stuff. So there is like a 6-pin plug for the Haldex system in the back under the seat. So we've got to extend some of them wires. Some of them wires, well, one's a ground, 2 to ABS unit, 1 to onboard supply control unit. We've got 3-pin, which is the fuel sender. We've obviously got 1 ground, and then the other 2 are for something else. And I'm just going to try and find the wiring for the ESP module, which is over there. It's on the floor at the moment. I've extended the wiring on that already. So even like that stuff, cutting, soldering, extending wiring to reach where it is you've got to get it to reach because you've cut out of another vehicle. All of this stuff takes time. I don't think you guys actually realise how long it does take. So when it comes to a point of me actually doing the... right, so I've got these bits here. Sorry, so I've got these bits here. This is the 6-pin for the Haldex, the 3-pin for the fuel sender. And then I like to try and keep the wiring as long as possible. Well, we've got 7 wires there, right? So now when I extend all of this wiring so that you guys can actually, well, so that I can actually reach where I've got to go. Hold on, there's 8 wires here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 8 wires. But once I sit down and I start extending these so that they can reach where they need to go, I'm going to time-lapse the stuff. So that you guys can get a rough idea of how long it takes. And what I'm actually going to do is I'll tell you what it is in real time versus you'll see what it was in time lapse. But it is a very painstaking, long, involved job. I extended the ESP module and the DSG wiring for the gearbox and the selector the other day. That took me about an hour to do. So yeah, it's a lot, but just so you guys can actually see what's involved. And these diagrams aren't straightforward to read. I don't even think you guys are going to be able to see it properly. There we go. But, right, there's a lot involved. I'll see if I can get up a print screen for you guys so that you can see. But it's just, yeah, it's taken me a long time to get to this point, and even still, I'm messaging Ben or I'm calling Ben like, am I being retarded or blah, blah, blah. You know, but it is what it is. We got to get this Golf up and running. I'm not far off now. And I just want to be back in the car enjoying myself. So can't wait for the point where we've got all 4 wheels rolling while it's on the ramp. That is progress. I'm dying, man. For instance, we've got the ESP module here. There's a T4 plug. So I'm now going to search for the ESP module, and I'm either looking out for it as a description on the wiring, or I'm looking for a T4 plug. So that is that's the next port of call basically. So ESP sensor unit or yaw rate sensor, that's what we're looking for. G202, I believe, which should be 4-pin. if I'm correct. Yep, so we've got 4 pin there, which if I'm looking, obviously colours may be different because what we've got here is from a slightly different year, but we've got T4 pin plug, and down here we have got T4-1, should be yellow and black. Then what have we got here? T4-1 is yellow and black. It's probably not going to focus. That top cable, T4-1. It's in T4-3, should be red and white. We've got T4-3, red and white. T4-2 is green and yellow. And we've got green and yellow. Yeah, we're good. We're good, baby. So there we go. And by the looks of it, all 4 of those wires go to N55, which is the ABS hydraulic unit. Either way, guys, like I said, it is very, very, very in-depth. I'm going to go ahead and get stuck in with writing down these last couple of bits, and then when I've got time, I'll come back. I'm too ill to do it now. When I've got time, I'll come back. I'll extend a load of the wiring, and then we'll go from there. So yes, that is it. I'm excited. The end is so close. So close. Okay, so now we're pretty much done with the back end. I'm going to get the prop shaft sat in place again, because the fuel tank doesn't need to come down again. Yeah, we're not too far off now. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with the progress. Just going to bolt this prop shaft up. We can get the car down. Happy days. Happy days indeed. So not long, guys, until we see this 4-wheel drive conversion rolling. It'd be good to get a shot of it on the ramp with all 4 wheels spinning at the same time. So I think I have sussed all the wiring for this. I've got everything written down, so it's just a case now of putting it into action and finding some time to actually get it done. So it was important that I got this lot done today, because the ramp is needed. The car needs to be off the ramp. It's been on the ramp far too long as it is. Yeah, man. So, boys and girls, that is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this video out for you guys last Friday, but here we are, Friday the 14th. It's Valentine's Day, guys. Hope you have a good night, you know. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for watching as always. You know, like, drop a comment, subscribe, share it. It's much appreciated. In the up and coming videos, we will have some sponsors getting involved, which is amazing. I've just got to remember to add them into the video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching again. I'll catch you soon. Peace.